worship. I look around this morning and I got here early. Nobody was here. And I felt this huge feeling of emptiness, which I'm thinking maybe all of you have kind of been feeling all week because it's just going to be different now. But then you all showed up, and it got me to thinking, you are the people of God, and we together will continue on to do the better things. So, in honor of Felix's memory, let's just take those 3 deep breaths and center ourselves for worship. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. You're filled with the life and breath of God. Welcome to worship.
Good morning, everyone. It is really good to see you all here today. I just have a few quick announcements before we continue with worship. August 29th, we will be having a blessing of the backpacks. So we invite students of all ages to bring their backpacks that day. You'll receive a special memento with a special blessing, and you'll just be able to remember the support and prayers of our faith family for you throughout the school year. Also that day, we will be doing a supply drive for the daycare. So a couple weeks ago, this was in the bulletin, list of items they could use. These lists are in the manufacturing table in the lobby if you need one. And it's also in our weekly email. We're going to sell away anymore and get them ready to start their school year also. And then September 1st, we'll kick off all of our fall activities. And we are still moving ahead as long as we are all safe, wearing our masks, washing our hands, social distancing, and we are pretty confident we can move forward with our activities as of right now. So watch for your weekly emails. You'll be getting, hopefully, the end of this week of mailing to your phone with all of those things coming up. Fire practice will be starting. Confirmation class for grades 6 through 8 will be starting. Some light groups, we have something special for parents with kids under the age of 5. Jane Forsberg will be continuing our Thursday morning book club. And there's a lot more, I could go on and on. So that's all I have for you today. Have a great week.
In peace, let us pray to the Lord. Lord, have mercy. For the peace from above and for our salvation, let us pray to the Lord. Lord, have mercy. For the peace of the whole world, for the well-being of the Church of God, and for the unity of all, let us pray to the Lord. Lord, have mercy. For this holy house, and for all who offer here their worship and praise, let us pray to the Lord. Lord, have mercy. Help, save, comfort, and defend us, gracious Lord. Amen.
The prayer of the day, God of mystery.
Good morning and faith in your church. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marie Black. I'm the Associate Bishop for Leadership Support in South Central City of Wisconsin, and I'm very grateful to be with you this morning. It was so much fun last week to be worshiping with you at Pastor Felix's second service, and I hope that you all enjoyed that just as much as I did. So today's message is about being still and knowing that God is present. So from Psalm 46, I read, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of the city, it shall not be moved. God will help it when the morning dawns. The nations are in uproar, the kingdoms totter, God utters God's voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us, the God of Jacob is our stronghold. Come, behold the works of the Lord. See what desolations the Lord has brought on the earth. The Lord makes war cease to the end of the earth, breaks the bow and shatters the spear, burns the shields of fire. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. I recently wrote a short devotion for our city newsletter, What Matters, and it was about how I have a decorative plaque in my entryway that says, "Be still and know that I am God." I've had this plaque for years, and it has lost its luster on me. I don't see it anymore. I put it up so I can know the looking parts of the paint. I recently moved to Madison, and I ordered a new couch for my apartment. A few weeks later, 3 young men come to deliver my couch. They cautiously bring it up the stairs, and one of the young men takes a step at the back and goes, "Huh, I don't even believe in God, but I really needed to read that today." Well, I hesitated to say anything, as it's just not in my nature to stay quiet. So I asked him what struck him about it. He looked at me and said, "I just had my first child. I'm 21 years old. I'm exhausted all the time. Nothing is quiet, nothing is still anymore, and nothing will ever be the same. I'm not sure I can keep going like this." He and I made a little bit more small talk, and then we left. As I sat on my new couch, I stared at this particular plaque for quite some time and read those 8 words over and over and over. Be still and know that I am God. For the last couple of weeks, this has been on the forefront of my heart. I keep hearing it, I keep seeing it. I imagine that with the recent transition you at Lutheran are now experiencing, this is a message you need to hear too. Upon doing some study on this passage in Psalms, I came across Psalm 46, being called Martin Luther's Psalm, because this was the basic for Luther's most famous hymn, A Mighty Fortress. the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. The whole Psalm 46 is a song about God, what God does and will do about suffering. Psalm 46 announces the God who brings hope to struggle and suffering. The psalmist has hope in the future despite the present struggle because the psalmist trusts that God is in charge. This psalm doesn't seem to bring that fuzzy feeling other psalms do, but I find this one to be the most affirming for my walk with God. In the Old Testament, we see a lot of fear and anger. We see a lot of ups and downs. Fear and anger aren't all that bad. Fear and anger were designed by God to give our bodies the sudden burst of strength and speed we need in emergencies, for taking risks for the sake of generosity, love, and care for others. Fear and anger ignites our passion for justice and for an end to cruelties. Our capacity for fear and anger is a gift from God. The dangers that Psalm 46 talks about are real. There are good reasons for the Israelites to be afraid. There are good reasons for them to be angry. But Psalm 46 takes it to place of cynicism, judgmentalism, hatred, and brings them into hope. Hope happens when we can reflect on God. God will restore our nation, our communities, our churches, our lives. The river in verse 4 is symbolic of God's presence. There's a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is the source of life, the sustainer of life. God is the one who makes us glad. God's help at break of dawn. What we must always remember is that God is not fazed by the darkness. God is light, and in Him there is no darkness. When we walk with God, we are always in the light, no matter what. And when it feels like we're in that space, it's not easy. Though humanly speaking, it appears to be difficult in our nation and the world, the darker it gets, the more disturbed we become. We must also remember that it's always darkest before dawn, just as we are about to give up hope is on the way. God will help us at the break of dawn. God will show up, like God did with Judah. Weeping may come in the night, but joy comes in the morning. Just as God is faithful, we must trust God. Now, I need sometimes to know, amidst the hard stuff, the grief, the times I feel almost powerless, that I just stop and take a moment and remind myself that God is in charge, that God is here, that God is present. I need to remind myself that for all the difficult emotions I may be feeling, that there is hope. We see Jesus in the Gospels often taking a moment to be still. When he was on the boat, he was angry. After he fed 5,000, he goes to the mountainside to pray. Before making big decisions, he fasts and pray. He would go to a quiet place to get some rest. He would stand back and get behind the crowds to stop and pray. He even at one time hid at a friend's house in hopes of finding isolation. Jesus makes a promise to us that he will always be very present, just as it says in Psalm 46. In Matthew 28:20, behold, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. What can be surer than that? We are in a world now where we only hear sadness, fear, and anger, and will ruin others. It's really hard. But I urge you, brothers and sisters, to take a step back, breathe, hear, be still, and know that I am God. You are going to continue to face dangers, challenges, and the unknown. Collectively, as a church, as a community, even globally, and as individuals,
Now together, let us pray as Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now let's end with a blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you. May the Lord look upon you with favor and give you his peace. Amen. Now we'll sing the sending song in number 770. before I begin my update on what's going on, I just want to offer some words of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Marie Leafblad. You got a chance to meet her last week when you were here, and she's the person at the Synod office that will be guiding us through the call process. She is new at the Synod office, has a great spirit and a lot of vision, and I really look forward to working with her. I know some of you talked with her at the meal last week too, and she really is someone I have confidence in, and that will be a great help. Second, I would just like to thank the staff, Tracy and Vicki, who are kind of holding the fort down right now, and Eric, especially today. This was our first time inside using the screen, and of course there were issues with the video, you know how that works. And Eric was able to get it up and running, and we were able to have the wonderful message from Marie Leaflet. So thank you, Eric. I would also like to thank the council for their leadership, especially this morning. Sue, Brenda, Lynn, and Ken, thank you for your part in leading worship. I would also just like to mention, you probably noticed there was communion on the schedule today, and Pastor Judy had planned to be here to have communion with us, but yesterday she notified us that she was having some health issues, and we just encouraged her to stay home and take care of herself this morning. So I know you will all keep Pastor Judy in your prayers. And finally, I would just like to thank you, the Faith family. I've had so many people reach out and thank me for what I'm doing, but I thank you. You made Pastor Felix's ending time here a special and happy one. I think his family was sent off in our love. And you're handling your grief as anybody who has ever grieved. This month is a month when I remember two significant things in my life. My marriage was on August 13th, and my husband died on August 29th, 13 years later. And grieving is a process. It's a process of remembering the good things. It's a process of letting go. And it's a process of moving forward. And now, in our situation here at Faith, we have let Pastor Felix go. That doesn't mean that we're done grieving. It doesn't mean that we aren't sad and we aren't missing certain things that he offered us that aren't going to be there anymore. When I first thought of an interim process, I thought, oh, I don't want to go through this again. I just want to keep going. I'm not ready for this. I don't want to take this on. And I see some of you nodding right now. You're feeling the same thing. And I thought, I don't want to spend a year with a pastor that we know is not going to stay with us. It was all the I don't wants. And then this morning, this thought occurred to me that maybe it's good that we have to go through that. Because right now, how ready are we to accept a substitute for Pastor Felix? We want Pastor Felix back. I've had people tell me that. We want somebody like Pastor Felix, or at least that's what they're thinking right now. When you lose a spouse, you're thinking, I want that person. I don't want somebody else to be in his place or her place. I want that person. And it takes time to let that go. It takes time to accept a new normal, and it takes time for our hearts to be open to someone new. And so I guess today, as I update you on what's going on and what we're going to be doing moving forward, I think maybe the interim process is going to be a good one. It's going to give us a chance to let go, to remember, to give thanks for what we had, and to accept someone new that God has in store for us that we don't know yet. So thank you, Faith family, for going through this grieving process together. It's not an easy time for any of us, but I look out at you and I see we all have each other. Isn't that what a family does? You hold each other up, you interact, you talk, you process, and you hang on to the good that is still here. And there's a lot of good still here. So thank you. Today I thought it would be a good time for me to kind of let you know what has been going on and what we have to look forward to. The Synod actually has a call process handbook that's 90-some pages long. And so, if you're really looking for some reading, or if you really want to know how the process works, if you go to the South Central Synod of Wisconsin website, there's a tab called Transitions, and you can look at what the process involves. And the process overall is supposed to take 6 months to a year. The part of the process we have been in right now is the time from when the pastor announces their resignation and saying goodbye, and having a positive and uplifting sending as they move to their new place. It's also a time for the council to meet with leadership at the Synod office, which has been done. The executive committee has met with the bishop and Marie Leaf-led to kind of set our course as we move forward, to find out about the process, and also for me to arrange certain things for us. A big one has been having coverage on Sunday mornings, making sure we have someone on call for situations like funerals and weddings, that sort of thing. And it's not always smooth because you just don't know who's out there to be available. We're fortunate to have retired pastors in our congregation who have stepped up to assist us. Pastor Judy, I know, has been there for Jennifer and her family as they grieve the loss of mom, and I'm so thankful that Pastor Judy is there. I learned in a conversation with Jennifer that Pastor Judy actually married her in Speed when she was here as an interim, right, Jennifer? So there's a connection there that is meaningful for her family as they move forward. Pastor Steve is going to be preaching a couple of Sundays, and Pastor Carl Otto, who we had in a time between Pastor Jeff and Pastor Felix, that kind of stepped up and helped us out too. We'll be here through the end of August. Then comes September, and that's the iffy part. The good news is that I am actually meeting with someone tomorrow as a potential interim for our congregation. I really am not at a point where I can reveal who that person is to you, but in the next couple of weeks, if things go well, I'm thankful that we will have somebody as an interim for Faith Lutheran. In that process, a person signs a contract for 6 months, and we go from there. If it's a good fit, then the council would sign another 6-month contract as is needed. There aren't many interims out there. I just want you to know that. So we are very, very fortunate to be getting someone as a possibility this quickly. It's actually a person that's not in the Wisconsin Synod. It's someone that Marie has spoken to and felt a good connection with our congregation. So I will update you as that goes on, but I am meeting with that person tomorrow, so please keep that meeting in your prayers. The council at present time is making decisions related to the daycare, the housing, any of the places where a pastor typically makes decisions. It's the council right now that's taking on that leadership. And our first hard decision of course, is going back to masks again. Last week, Rock County came out with a recommendation for mask wearing, and as I read it, it said, anyone who's vaccinated, anyone who's not vaccinated, anyone who has underlying health conditions. And I thought, was that all of us? None of us like wearing masks. They're uncomfortable, especially in this warm weather, but it's something that we can do to show our love for God and for each other. We also look at the guidelines of the Wisconsin Council of Churches. They are talking a lot about it being a faithful act to our community and to each other to wear the masks. And we will keep advising, listening to that advice and moving forward. Just so you know, I just read a post from the South Central Synod, and at the Synod level, they're actually going back to Zoom meetings. And that's Madison, and I know Madison tends to be stricter maybe than we are in Rock County. But thank you so much for showing up with your masks this morning. It just warms my heart to know that you're not only in this for yourself, but you're in this for each other. So thank you. As the interim process continues, once we have an interim in place, they become our pastor. And the responsibilities of pastoral care and decision-making fall on that person under the advisement of the church council. At that time, we will be forming a transition team and a call committee. The difference is a transition team creates a profile of our congregation. We did this before, but we're in a kind of a different place now in what we think we want and what we think we need. And that transition team will be interviewing people and creating a profile for our congregation of what we would like to see in a pastor. We'll do that under the guidance of the council, the interim pastor, and of course, Marie and any other people at the synod level. Once that profile is created, then we would form a call committee. And the call committee, to me, is mainly the people who will interview based on the profile. So I think what happens then is that the synod office will look at our profile, they'll submit as candidates, and then the call committee will interview and hopefully find someone who meets our needs that they would recommend for the congregation. When I served as president before, I kind of caught the end of the call process. At that time, Jennifer was in charge of the call committee, and she submitted Pastor Felix's name to me, and I met with him. He came and visited us, the congregation, voted then, I think it was in March of 2017, and submitted a call for him. And then there was a time when he needed to finish up where he was. He and Jessica had Bobby, and they started with us then at the end of May. I think it was right after Memorial Day. His first Sunday of worship was in June. So you can see how that whole thing takes time. I will do my best to update you on anything and everything that I can. Sometimes I have to keep things confidential. I hope you understand that is not easy because people ask me questions and, oh man, it's hard to not say anything, you know? So if I can tell you, I will. And if I can't, I'll just say it's in the process. And I'll tell you as soon as I can. I believe in being open with what's happening, both with the council and with you and with the staff. And I'm telling you, we have a great staff and a great council, and you are in very good hands. So, having said all of that, are there any questions that I could answer this morning for anybody? Yes, Carly? How do we form a call committee? That's an excellent question. I think the basic idea of a call committee and a transition committee is to have people involved that reflect different ages and different needs of the congregation. So, for example, I'm 70 years old. I have a view of things that's different than what you have. And people that have small children have a different view than people that don't have children or people that have grandchildren. So we would want to form a committee that reflects all of the different needs of our congregation. That can be happening that people volunteer and say, I would like to be on the call committee or put my name on the list. They recommend 5 to 9 people for a call committee. I think the council will probably form a group based on volunteers and asking people so that we do get diversity. And then the congregation eventually votes on that call committee. Did I answer your question? Oh. Anybody else? Lynn, or I'm looking at Lynn Houston. Lori. Sorry, Lori. Can somebody say?
What is the status of our minister of music?
Oh, okay. Let me hold on that for a second. Just, are there any other things about the call process? Okay. I should have brought that in sooner, but the minister of music position is another huge loss. We have a committee that includes Lynn Hewson, Sue Green, Tracy Benedict, previously known as Tracy Schroeder, Tracy Benedict, and myself, and kind of Eric when he happens on our meetings. We've kind of decided that we want to just wait before we actually hire a minister of music. There are some reasons behind that, as far as what our needs will be and how we can, it just kind of in the interim as well, have an interim music program that serves our needs. And luckily we have this guy sitting over here who is multi-talented in that he can handle technology. Today he's setting up his, what do you call it? Live stream, thank you. He's got the computer going so we can see the video. He's playing the pianos, and I think he does it all from some little control thing he has right next to him, right? It's beyond me. He also has the gift of accompanying worship. Beautiful, playing, doesn't really have to practice that much, which is a foreign thought to me. Is willing to take on some of our other music things in the interim. The choir, we've got some plans to start the choir. We're in some conversations with possible bell choir directors who might come in and help with our bell choir. We're going to try to establish the ukulele group again, and Eric is kind of involved in all of that. But as far as having a minister of music in the near future, I think we're going to wait till we get a pastor, an interim pastor, to kind of look at what we're doing and how we're doing and get some advice there too. So, does that answer your question? Yeah. But know that we're having meetings and we're moving forward and everything is in the works. Anything else? Well, it's pretty hot in here, and I don't want to keep you longer than needed, so go in peace. let's just say our mission statement, just for old time's sake. We are people of God, empowered by word and sacrament, reaching out in love.